Welcome to the GCN News Show. We said last week we'd be at the Giro d'Italia. We also said it'd be sunny. 2 out of 2 ain't bad. We'll be bringing you all the tech news and all the race news from what has so far been a fascinating race. In stage 1, Mark Cavendish showed his class once again, overcoming not just his rivals but also the lack of a lead out. Clearly there's still some work to do in the Omega Pharma Quickstep camp, but nevertheless, Cav took the first maglia rosa. Stage 2's team time trial, Team Sky made the most of their prior reconnaissance of the course to take the win. Team Movistar came second, and interestingly for the GC battle, Astana limited their losses to just 14 seconds, finishing in third. Salvatore Puccio of Team Sky took over the maglia rosa, and in so doing, probably allayed the fears of his team.
Yeah, I think most of them. I mean, there's only really Salvatore Puccio hasn't proved himself in the Grand Tour, so all the other guys have, certainly done more to show that they're ready to go, and having Rigoberto and Sergio around in the big climbs, I think, he's fine, yeah.
It seems like all of Team Sky's Giro d'Italia squad have now proved their pedigree in a Grand Tour. The third stage saw the race hug the beautiful Amalfi coast, but 2 technical climbs and descents near the finish saw the race splinter. Ryder Hesjedal was the man on a mission, but in the end it was Luca Paolini who escaped to take the win and the maglia rosa. Although a lot of new tech stuff is released in time for the Tour de France, there's plenty to look at here at the Giro. Let's start with the new Pinarellos TT bike, the Bolide. The official launch is for later on in the Giro, but we hear that it's been designed in conjunction with British Cycling. It certainly looks to be pushing the boundaries of UCI regulations. Cadel Evans is also on a new bike, a new BMC road frame. Details are scarce, but it seems that lightweight was the focus for this bike. We'll have more on this later in the Giro. We mentioned in our look at Mark Cavendish's bike that he had some special wheels on, and SRAM are being tight-lipped about it, but it's a new rear hub designed to better meet the demands of sprinters. With frames getting stiffer and stiffer, the hub and quick release could now be the main point of flex. And finally, Mavic are expanding their carbon wheel range with a shallower equivalent of their CC80. No word on names, but it looks to be following the wide rim trend. Our own Daniel Lloyd, fresh out of the commentary box, joined us earlier to share his thoughts about what's going to happen in the week ahead. So we're here at the end of stage 3 and Dan's joining us fresh from the commentary box. Dan, what's your take on the race so far?
Well, on the opening stage we found out that Mark Cavendish is just as fast as he ever has been. He took that stage convincingly, having come round his lead-out train Kurt Stegmans, who dropped a chain or something happened mechanically, so he had to do almost a double sprint, so really impressive when he went into that first leader's jersey. Yesterday on the island of Ischia, Team Sky took out the win. Of course they would have been really pleased about that, not just for Wiggins' chances, but what a day for Salvatore Puccio. First ever Giro d'Italia for him. Home race, an Italian rider goes into the pink jersey and the white jersey. Amazing day for them. And then today, Luca Paolini, another Italian rider, great race so far for the home Tifosi. He did enough to not only take the stage win, but also get himself into the pink leader's jersey. And behind we saw a cracking race from the GC riders. We weren't really sure what this stage was going to bring and who it was going to suit. But in the end, we had a cracking competition between the likes of Hesjedal, who was really active. I mean, he was another bit of an unknown coming into this, defending champion, but hadn't shown too much at the races before now, but he certainly looks to be ready for it now.
Now the fact that he was attacking on the descent, do you think there was anyone specific he was trying to put under pressure? Because obviously Nibali is famous for his descending skills. Do you think it was a shot at Wiggins?
Actually, I was surprised that Nibali didn't kind of help Hesjedal at the front. He obviously just wanted to stay safe. I think probably it was more to put Wiggins into trouble, but in the end it came back together and they're kind of back to where they were before. But Hesjedal did take that third place over the line in 8 seconds, and Evans, who we haven't talked about too much so far, he came second, so he's looking good, and he took the 12 seconds, so not enough to get back up to where Team Sky were after yesterday's team time trial, but a good psychological thing nonetheless.
Now I thought Bradley Wiggins was looking quite isolated at the top of that final climb. He had Hanau just behind him, but there was no one there to help him, not in the same quantity that Astana had.
No, I think that climb actually caught quite a few people out. It was such a fast climb, but there were so many corners that actually it was almost as technical as the descent. And I don't know whether anybody did their homework beforehand, but Garmin certainly seemed to know what was coming up, and they really went for it on a couple of the corners. And I think it was less so climbing ability and more positioning on that one, so it did catch a few people out, including some of Team Sky. But you're right, he didn't have too many people left around him, but Hanau was as strong as an ox.
And have we lost Scarponi now from the GC?
I actually haven't seen exactly how far down he was. He was really unlucky, not just to crash, but I mean, it was just outside that 3 kilometres. And of course, if you crash inside the last 3 Ks, you're kind of given the time and the group that you're in. So After a great team time trial yesterday where they would have been absolutely full of motivation and really pleased with themselves, it is a lot to make up, but in my opinion he's looking good on the climbs.
So looking forward to stage 4 then. We've got a big climb coming into the finish. Do you think we're going to see more fireworks?
It's very difficult to say. It's not a super steep climb. It is quite long. I think it's around about 16 kilometres long. Whether or not we'll see any big attacks from the favourites, I'm not sure, but I think Puccio will certainly be trying to defend with Paolini. He looked good on the climb today. Might be a bit too hard for him tomorrow. The big stages are still to come, obviously. Stage 5 looks like certain to be a bunch sprint finish, so Cavendish will of course be going for that again. And a lot of the GC riders will of course be waiting for that stage 8 individual time trial, which comes on Saturday.
Good stuff, I can't wait. The Giro again is proving that it's surely the most exciting of the Grand Tours.
Yeah, it's an absolutely I mean, I love coming out to this race. It was great to ride it back in the day when I was doing that, but I absolutely love watching it. I mean, there's not many Grand Tours where on the third day you see so much action.
No, thanks Dan.
Thanks very much indeed.
Don't forget, we've got daily features from the Giro d'Italia taking you behind the scenes. And if there's something you particularly like to see, why don't you let us know in the comments section down below. We'll leave you with our tweet of the week. Bernie Eisel observing the Giro from afar and commenting after the first stage. Mark Cavendish, well-deserved stage win and maglia rosa. Send home Nasser Buhani before somebody gets killed. Stop him before it's too late. You might think that, Bernie. We couldn't possibly comment. Thanks for watching.
Well, I think stage 19 looks particularly exciting to watch on paper. It's only a short stage, I think it's just under 140 kilometres, but it goes over 2 climbs which peak at over 2,500 metres, the Gavia and then the Stelvio.